What's up? Today we will be starting Supernatural Season 12. Yes, we are now on Season 12 of Supernatural. And remember last time, Dean and Sam had to stop the darkness. It was revealed that God, Chuck Shirley, was God in disguise. And then they had this plan to discover this bomb inside Dean, but Dean was able to get to Mars humanity and make her reunite with her brother, and they were able to pull out the bomb, which I didn't mention in the review for season 12, season 10, season 11, which is going to be released soon. But yeah, anyway, it'll probably be released like weeks after this, I'm done the whole series. But anyway, so by doing so, Amara said that since she gave Dean what she wanted, she was gonna give Dean what he wanted, and the season ended with Dean finding his mother. So this season starts off exactly where the end of season left off, or end of season 11 left off, with Dean discovering his mother is alive. He tries to poke her, act like she isn't real, see if she's real. But what does she do? She throws him over his shoulder, questioning who he is. He says he does say he's Dean Winchester, but she finds this odd, as from her point of view, her Dean's only 4, but he has to pretend he has to tell her, yeah, you've been dead for 33 years. So, yeah, he has to tell her, by the way, you've been dead for 33 years. And he's like, meanwhile, he catches her up to speed about everything going on, John's dad, Lucifer, everything. And, yeah, and she says about how she didn't want this life for Dean and Sam. And Dean says about how after her death, he became Hunter. So they go back to the bunker to discover Sam's been missing. So they discover Castiel. Mary almost tries to kill Castiel until Dean explains what happened with Castiel, who Castiel is, and she's like, Castiel, the angel? And he's like, yeah. So he's like, where's Sam? He's like, I don't know. Some girl showed up and blasted me away. Yeah. He ended up in a billboard and he blasted through the mystery spot. Meanwhile, Sam is being captured by Tony. I'm going to call her Tori. Tori or Tony. It's revealed that at the end of last episode, at the end of last season, when she shot Sam, she shot him in the leg. Yeah. She didn't fatally shoot him. She shot him in the leg. Yeah, she's taking him to this guy where she threatens him to let him in. So she starts torturing Sam, and Sam starts saying, oh, yeah, Sam still believes that Dean's dead. Yes, because when she asked, what about Dean? And he told her Dean's dead, but Dean's not dead because, I don't know why they never questioned, what happened to God. Because God was with him 1 second, and then he wasn't with him next. So I don't know why they don't question what happened to God. Dean knows, but I don't know why Sam didn't question it when she asked him that question. But anyway, what happens is that Sam is being tortured by Tori or Tony. I don't know. Look, I do not remember her name. I don't remember her name. I have to look it up. Because I call it Tony in the last video. So, in the recap for season 11. So, I want to make sure in season 12 if her name is Tony. Yeah, Tony, that's her name. I call her Tony. Tony is torturing Sam. And Tony is torturing Sam. And Sam just keeps telling her just SCREWU. He says it a lot. And he tells her about how they fought Lucifer. What can she do? And her assistant brings out a blowtorch, which she just blow torches through Sam's leg. Meanwhile, Dean and Sam, Mary, and Castiel go to that same guy. So Dean, Mary, and Castiel go to that same guy. And he said he doesn't know anything until he reveals the phone. And she's like, "Oh yeah, this is Dean." And he's like, I'm gonna find you, and then I'm gonna kill you. Yeah. And Dean even breaks the phone like Jensen did in real life. But yeah. So she decides to get. So Sam is now on. She decides to put some drugs into Sam's system, which makes him hallucinate everyone who's dead, including who we think. He even hallucinates Dean being dead, even though Dean's not dead. And says that Sam should just kill himself. So he tries, but then she discovers what's wrong until he captures her. She tries to run away, and he kicks him back. So meanwhile, in the second episode, Sam is sleeping with Tony until it's revealed that it was all an illusion. Yep. Castiel has discovered where Tony is keeping Sam, and yeah, she's discovered where he's keeping Sam. Yeah, bam. Discover where she's keeping Sam. Yeah, but anyway. Discover where she's keeping Sam. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. That's what is happening. So they discover it, but Dean discovers a trapdoor. So Dean gets captured by Tony off screen and now discovers that Dean is not dead. So meanwhile, she reveals she's a British man of letters to both of them, and so her British man of letters discover that Mary killed Mrs. Watts. So So she's torturing Sam and Dean, but that's when Mary shows up, and Dean's like, "Mom?" And Dean's like, "Yeah." So they get into a big fight until she uses one of her spells to start choking Mary, until one of her men shows up and tells her to stop doing this because he just wants to be friends. But Tony went overboard. Yeah. So Dean tells Sam off screen what happened, how Mary's resurrected, and Mary's like, "Are we buying this whole them wanting to be friends thing?" And he's like, "No. We're not buying the whole they want to be friends thing." Yeah. Also, Crowley is discovered to. Crowley is to have discovered where. So Crowley is discovering Lucifer's, Crowley is trying to figure out Lucifer's, meat suit. Yeah? Trying to discover, because Lucifer's been using his meat suits and then dying. Then they've been dying. So, yeah. So, what happens is that Lucifer ends up in the body of Rick Springfield, the musician who created Jesse's Girl. Yeah. He's in him now. Lucifer is in Rick Springfield now, and Sam has discovered that he likes Vince Vicente. Yeah. So Lucifer says, so Rowena is on a date with Hal Cooper from Riverdale when Crowley goes to her for help with Lucifer. Yeah, that's a thing, and he's on, And Rowena just wants to settle down, but Crowley's forcing her to get back into the game. So they summon him, and they're able to melt his face off, and makes him look like a zombie from Walking Dead. I thought we had last season with the Walking Dead references, but this season has it too. But he's able to Crowley's able to get out of there, and Lucifer / Rick Springfield takes Rowena captive. Yeah. Takes Rowena captive. Yeah. So meanwhile, in American Nightmare, also, people are hearing baby. What's up? Welcome back to some more Supernatural with Supernatural Season 12 Recap Part 2. Today we will be doing the second half of my Supernatural Season 12 recap. Last time we did the first half of Part 1, which took away from episodes 1 to episode 9, and now this recap will cover episodes 10 through 17. And Part 3 will cover episodes 18 through 23. So episode 10 starts off with angels just in an arcade when a random woman with an eye patch, remind me from Kenpachi from Bleach, shows up and makes the angels, kills the angel, but makes it lay out a message to all the other angels. So Castiel, my bro Castiel, decides to investigate this and gets Dean and Sam to come along. Because of course he does. He gets Dean and Sam to come along. So they meet with Isham and Maribel, Isham and Maribel. I'm saying Isham, come on, remember Isham's dad. Wow, is this episode gonna have a lot of Bleach references? Because this episode has a girl that looks exactly like Kenpachi from Bleach. So I'm gonna say Castiel tells Dean and Sam to wait there because Isham doesn't like humans. But what does Dean and Sam do? They join anyway because they think Castiel's in danger. So Maribel decides to go outside when she's ambushed by the eye patch girl, and the eye patch girl, obviously, they discover her and they get into a fight with Dean and Sam. Castiel knows her says he knows her. Dean and Sam explain that back in the 1900s, Castiel was in a female vessel because I don't know why, and he and his fellow angels went off to catch an angel traitor who had a wife and a Nephilim daughter, and that's heavy consequences. As the guy gets killed, but he whispers something to his wife. So Dean and Sam decide to talk to this girl. We learn her name is Lily, and she was actually, her daughter was a normal daughter. It's revealed that Isham actually was in love with her and fabricated that story so he could get his love back. But in doing so, he killed the daughter, sending Lily on a path of vengeance against all angels for allowing one to kill her daughter. So Sam discovers this. Dean discovers this and runs to tell Castiel about Isham's true intention when he's attacked. And Isham reveals about how he's in love with the girl and how he wanted to be with her, but she really had to be with that other angel. So he thought killing her, but setting their human daughter as a half human, half demon daughter, kind of like what we're doing with the Kelly Klein storyline this season, was really interesting. So Dean gets his butt kicked. He's about to teleport the angel away when Lily shows up, supporting her Kenpachi eye patch and Dean tells Sam, Dean's like, I thought I told you to stay behind. He's like, I decided not to. He's like, good call. So she decides to rip off her eye patch, just like Kenpachi does in Bleach, and shows her true power, just like Kenpachi does in Bleach. So, yeah, really kind of funny that there's two characters in two different shows that have eye patches, i.e. Kenpachi and Lily Summers. Lily Sunder, that's her name. And they both, and when they reveal their eye patch, their power comes out. She explains that the reason why she has an eye patch is because she was trying to get revenge so much that she sold her soul, and the more she sold her soul, the more her soul left, and that's what caused her eye patch to disappear. That's what caused her eye to lose all consciousness, all workability. So they get into a big fight, bam, 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 until Dean takes the finishing blow, killing Isham. So Castiel says he's sorry for the past, and about how he's sorry for what they did to her and her daughter and her family, but she apologizes. Yep, we are going to probably see her again, because they can't do that for her and Castiel make up, and then she's not going to be in season 13. She has to be in season 13. How can she not? She's totally a good character. So in episode 11, regarding Dean is blasted by a witch, which causes him slowly to lose his memory. And Sam decides to get Rowena to help him out because I guess she's perfect in angel spell. There's even a Harry Potter reference in this episode. So they discover that if they don't help Dean out soon, if Dean forgets all of his memories, Dean will die. And Dean even says, oh, I feel sorry for that guy, not knowing that's actually him. So Rowena decides, so there's also these witches that want to get revenge on these Winchesters for killing their brother, so they decide to resurrect their brother, but Sam gets captured by them. Meanwhile, Rowena is forced to babysit Dean and tell memoryless Dean all of the past adventures he's done, all the evil he's committed, but also some of the good he's done over the years. So what does Rowena decide to do? Rowena decides to lock Dean in a car, telling him to stay put. So when that doesn't work, she decides to leave sticky notes all over the place to tell Dean what gun and what not gun to touch. As you do. So Rowena decides to meet with one of her old friends who she trained with, and the friend turns out to be evil. And attacks her. But that's when Dean shows up with the witch killing bullet. And it's kind of funny. He has to put it, and she's like, "Oh, a normal gun," and then he has to put the sticky note that says witch killing bullet. So then Sam shows up, and Sam's like, "Bad guy, me brother." So Dean's like, "Boom, bye." So Remy restores Dean back to normal, but he fakes pretending to be memoryless for a bit to punk Sam, because everyone loves punking Sam, don't they? So in the Stuck in the Middle with You, we see Mary and this guy Wally. We see this Mary and this guy Wally totally looking at binoculars at this guy. So she wants to keep the secret that she's working with the British mail letters from Sam and Dean, and they even get Castiel to join on. Because of course. So they bust into this guy's house, but he shows up, and none of the thing kills him. So he throws them outside. He has one of his demons kill Wally, because Wally only showed up once in this season. And then the guy uses a big spear to kill Castiel. So Castiel's slowly dying. Meanwhile, Mary steals something from this guy, but she fakes saying that she has to use the bathroom. Who, Mary? What'd you steal from this guy? What'd you steal from this guy, Mary? Please tell us. Please tell us, Mary. But anyway, so yeah. But anyway, what happens is that Dean's so Crowley shows up because Remy, because back in the day he gave Remy the spear of Michael, and Remy wanted Remy to take the throne, but Remy didn't want to do it, so he asked Crowley to take the throne for him. So yeah. Meanwhile, Mary's texting the British man letters, telling them what they got her into, and for some reason they label them as hobbits because I don't know, Lord of the Rings reference. She texts them under the name Hobbit. I don't know why, but yeah. So then Castiel decides to attack Remy, but Remy basically just been like, bye, and pushes Crowley through the floor. Yep, Crowley sucks. So anyway, then Remy decides to attack our main group, where he questions them on what they stole from him, but they're like, dude, we didn't steal anything from you. So he explains how his sister Dagona is gonna be after Lucifer's child, or Kelly Klein's baby. So yeah, that's what happens. So Sam decides to kick the final blow, killing Remy. So they question what Remy was even talking about, what they stole from him. Mary's about to say something until Dean cuts her off, saying that the guy was probably nuts. Calling Dean, Mary was about to reveal her true intentions, but you cut her off. So meanwhile, Mary's in a coffee shop with Arthur Ketch when she gives him the Colt. Yep, and then they show a shot of someone watching, but I guess it's never explained. So now Mary has the Colt. So I guess the whole thing is that Bella took it from them. So John gave it to them until Bella took it from them in season 3, and then gave it to Crowley, who then gave it to Remy, who then Mary stole it and gave it back to the Man of Letters. That's what happened. Bella took it from them, gave it to Crowley. Crowley gave it to Remy and had it for all those years until Mary took it from him to give to the Man of Letters, to the British Man of Letters. So when a ghost from a merchant ship is killing people, Dean and Sam discover that the ship that in question is the Star. And that star is the same one Crowley's son Gavin was on. So they called Gavin into town. So they called Gavin into town, where Rowena, because Rowena's in this episode, Dean, Sam, and Rowena decide to contact the ghost. But it's actually the ghost of his lover. Ghost of his lover, Fiona. Yep. Who says that he was supposed to go on the ship, but when he didn't show, the people there antagonized her, including their teacher. But this doesn't make any sense. So Gavin says about how their teacher taught them all in the village back in the day. But that doesn't make any sense because Gavin literally stated in his first episode that he never got to learn education because Crowley was a mean man. So why did they change it up now? That doesn't make any sense. So Crowley didn't let him go to school, but his teacher taught the whole village. How would he not know that if he didn't get to go to get an education? So they decide to So Gavin decides that the only way to make Fiona happy is to go back in time and let themselves die on the ship. But who's not happy about this, of course? Crowley, because he's not happy that his son wants to sacrifice himself. But Rowena says about how Gavin's his own man and he's not like them two. Okay. So Gavin decides to go back in time with his girlfriend, with his fiance and his girlfriend, and go back in time and stop the bad guy, and die with the ship. But Dean and Sam still remember the events of this, as they say that Gavin going back on the ship caused Fiona's victims to come back to be alive because since she and Gavin were on the ship, meaning that she never killed those people. Meanwhile, yep, it's a meanwhile. Meanwhile, Crowley and Rowena are talking when Rowena says about Crowley's mad at her for sending his only son away, but Rowena says this is payback for her. She only helped him send Gavin away as revenge for him for her having to kill Oscar to remove the mark of Cain, saying that she wants to crush his shriveled heart. Meanwhile, with Kelly Klein, she's on her own when a bunch of demon angels show up ready to kill her, but that's when a random woman named Dagon shows up and kills the angel, saying Kelly Klein, come with me if you want to live. Then she tells Kelly Klein that reveals that Kelly Klein will have a son, and so revealing that Kelly Klein will have a son. That's what's gonna happen. So in the raid, at the end of the last episode, Mary finally told Dean and Sam that she's working with the Brushman letters. And Dean and Sam are obviously mad about this, that their mom would keep the secret from them, and Dean tells her that he just wants her to be her mom. But she's like, she is their mom, but she's also a hunter. So yeah. So meanwhile, so Sam decides to meet with Mary and gets to be brought up on all the Brushman letters business. Yeah. Meanwhile, Dean gets visions by Arthur Ketch. And Dean and Arthur find this vampire. But guess what? Dean doesn't show up in the episode until the end because Jensen Ackles couldn't be a part of this episode due to the birth of his twins. So he had to be cut out of the rest of the episode. So now this is just a Sam episode. Dean was in it for the half of it until they find the vampire. Then it cuts back to the vampire, that the alpha vampire who we met back in season 7 was a part of. That Jensen couldn't be a part of this episode, so that's why he randomly shows up at the end of the episode. So this is a Sam episode. So the alpha vampires attack, and it's revealed that one of the man layers was actually in cahoots. One of the man layers, what was his name? Pierce, that's his name. Pierce was actually involved with the vampire the whole time and betrays them. And betrays them, of course. So Mick decides to lunge the cold at Sam, pretending to betray him, and so Sam can put the one final bolt into the alpha vampire. Ding. So Dean shows up at the end because guess what, Jensen, as I said before, Jensen Ackles was preparing with the birth of his twins. so he couldn't be in the episode that long. So they decide to send Pierce away to be punished, but he's never seen again, so whatever happened to the guy. And Sam secretly agrees to work with the British man letters behind Dean's back. So yeah, so in this episode, so we see this couple, and this guy is getting to be married to this girl. Is getting to be married to this girl. But the guy gets attacked by a heckhound. Dean and Sam must investigate it. Meanwhile, Dean and Sam get a Walking Dead reference in. Yeah, so Dean and Sam have been getting missions supplied secretly by McDavies, unbeknownst to Dean, and they even get a Walking Dead a reference. As Dean says that that John would have liked this bat, being referenced to Negan, as John's actor, Jeffrey D. Morgan, carries a bat with barbed wire named Lucille. And I just love how Dean says that his dad would have loved this barbed wire bat, because that's a reference to Negan. And then the bat never comes into play again because it's just a reference for the Walking Dead fans to enjoy. Good job, Supernatural. You made us Walking Dead fans happy, but you kind of have been leaning into Walking Deadness lately. But to have a reference to Jeffrey D. Morgan's bat Lucille is cool. So yeah. So Dean and Sam decide to go and meet with the girl who survives the attack, but she doesn't want anything to do with them until a heckhound shows up. And Crowley obviously gets the call because it's one of his heckhounds. But the two people reveal that, okay, yes, I forgot to mention, yes, Crowley has Lucifer locked up because during episode 10's event, it was revealed that Crowley actually perverted Rowena's spell and made it so Lucifer returned to his original body, and now his two subordinates find Lucifer, and he obviously bursts them all, and he's eventually let out. Yeah, so Lucifer is now back to normal. Yeah, Lucifer is back to normal. So meanwhile, Castiel... Yeah. So Castiel is in this bar, in this restaurant, when he hears about someone discovering Kelly Klein dead on. So he decides to watch the video and discovers that he thinks it's like an alien or something. So Castiel decides to meet with Klein, his angel brother, who's played by the same actor that plays Black Noir on The Boys. So Castiel and of course Klein decide to go to heaven off screen to look for Joshua. Bro, I'm still mad about this. I'm still mad that they have a whole Castiel adventure, but it happens off screen. Because Castiel is gone for a ton of episodes because of this whole finding Joshua deal. But it would have been interesting to see Castiel and his brother go to heaven and find Joshua. But no, they don't do that. They happen it off screen. And it makes me mad that we could have had a whole adventure with Castiel, but no, he's off screen doing this while we have to deal with Dean and Sam. I do like Dean and Sam, but it's just annoying that we could have had this, but we don't. We don't have this. So meanwhile, they're able to take the heckhound out, and Crowley reveals Lucifer that he's actually warded his entire body, making him to be controlled by him. So in late drink-free. A girl is walking along with her brother, scares her, and her brother tries to tell her that there's no such thing as monsters when she gets attacked. So when she gets attacked, the brother gets killed by the random thing with the mask. So Mick Davies, so in the last episode, I forgot to mention too, that Sam decided to tell Dean about his adventures with, of course, Mick Davies and the British Man Letter. But Dean decided to be okay with it and say if they sensed anything sketchy, they would leave immediately. And Dean said sure. So Mick Davies decides to join them on this episode. Mick Davies decides to join them on this episode. Mick Davies. So they discover the girl, and they discover that there was another person there, a blonde, angry person who said she wanted to join the activist, who said she was an activist, and that blonde, angry person is Claire. Yes, Claire's in this episode, and she decides to join Dean and Sam. So Mick Davies decides to go into the office and kill Hayden. But Hayden activates her werewolf powers and scratches him, but he ultimately injects it. So the next day he lies to Dean and Sam and says how Dean and Sam were questioning him, be like, dude, you said she had no powers, she wasn't a werewolf, so how come she's not dead? So Dean's like, dude, you were lying, I told you he couldn't be trusted. But Sam's like, calm down, Dean, he must have had a good explanation. And Claire's just like, hold up, guy, we still need to find out the person that killed her. We need to know the person that is attacking people. So Dean decides to go with Mick Davies, and Mick Davies explains that the British mail list has a code, and he also explains how they killed Magda, how they had Arthur Ketch kill Magda. So Dean and Sam is like, bro, Dean is like, bro, because of your code, their mom has to bury 2 kids instead of 1. So meanwhile, Sam and Claire get into a fight, and Claire is attacked by the monster, and Dean and Sam tell her not to kill her, but once they leave, Claire tells him to do it. But that's when they're attacked by the guy the werewolf man who abducts Claire for some odd reason. So Dean and Sam are obviously mad that he let him abduct her, but Mick Davies says about how he tried to fight back. So the guy is Red B, Hayden's boyfriend, who turned Claire into a werewolf. So he's a werewolf for turning Claire into a werewolf. So he drips blood in front of Claire, which makes her turn all werewolfy. Yep, makes her turn all werewolfy. Makes her turn all werewolfy. Yep. So Dean and Sam get there, but they kill the boyfriend, and they're able to make a cure to cure Claire. And thanks to all this, Claire is able to tell Jody who she's been lying to the entire time, that she's actually hunting. So meanwhile, in the British invasion, we get a flashback to Mick Davies' childhood. We get a flashback to Mick Davies' childhood. Yeah, that's very good. Childhood, where he was forced to kill his best friend because of the code. And so now his boss, Director Hess. Director Hess has been on this show where she played Julie Benson's character, Lila's mom, in season 1, Faith. So it's kind of cool to see her back in this show as kind of a villain. So yes, she tells McDavies that he better get Dean and Sam under control, or she will send Mr. Catch to kill them. So meanwhile, Dean and Sam are talking to Eileen, the Death Hunter from Into the Mystic from last season. Remember her? She was Death Hunter who had her parents killed by banshees, and she eventually got to kill the banshee that killed her parents. Remember her? Yes, she's like the new Charlie. Remember her? Yeah, she's back in this episode, and she's helping Dean and Sam discover where Kelly Klein is. Yeah, she's helping Dean and Sam discover where Kelly Klein is. What's up? Welcome to the third and final part of my Supernatural Season 12 recap. So today we got episodes 18 through 23. Then after I think like tomorrow we'll start season 13, episodes 1 through 9. So I think tomorrow's episode is 1 through 9. Wait, no. Tuesday. I think that's episodes 1 through 9. But anyway. So we got part 3, and this part starts off with two friends at a party when a black goat attacks them. So Dean and Sam are getting a note from McDavies, who is actually Arthur Ketch in disguise, and tells them about this incident. But this is actually so McDavies and so Arthur Ketch and his British Man Letters people can sneak into the bunker and steal the colt from Dean and Sam. Yep. This episode's fine. I don't have a lot to say about it. Like, there's the black bull, there's the black goat who's killing people, who's freezing people. It's really this guy who's basically just doing everything based on Dean, who's basically doing things how Dean and Sam do, hunting things, saving people, family business. They are doing it as killing things, killing people, family business. Basically doing it as Dean and Sam does. It's really, so they're able to kill this guy, and Dean and Sam now are under the orders of Ketch, who so in the future, Castiel comes back from heaven again. I would have loved to see that, but nope. But yeah, no, we don't see that. So meanwhile, after Dagon telling Kelly Klein how birthing a Nephilim will kill her, Klein decides to pull a Rita Bennett and Rita from Dexter and killing herself. But when Dagon discovers her, she discovers that her son rebirthed her. So yeah. So Castiel decides to show up. Dean and Sam are basically mad at him for basically ghosting them for weeks now. And he decides to gift Dean back his Led Zeppelin DVD, but Dean's like, dude, I gave you that. Yeah. So when Dean decides to go back to Castiel, he discovers that Castiel is gone because Castiel stole the colt from Sam and Dean, saying to Klein that he doesn't want Dean and Sam to be involved in this fight. So what does he do? He decides to go to meet Dagon and fight her. But she's obviously able to defeat him. But he's able to get Kelly Klein. And Kelly Klein touches him, and his baby makes him see her baby makes him see the future. Or future events in this episode that's about to happen. So Dean and Sam confront him about stealing their property. Until Kelly Klein reveals that Castiel is going to take her to heaven, so her baby can't be born, and she doesn't have to die. So yeah, so she decides to go. So Kelly Klein decides to steal the Impala from Dean and Sam with Castiel inside of it. Yeah, so they decide to go to where the hunting's, and they meet Joshua. But immediately within Joshua's first time on screen, bam, he's killed by Dagon. Wow, Joshua, we meet you here just for you to be killed off. Just like Castiel finding you in the first place was a total waste of time if you were just going to be introduced in this episode just to then be killed. It's just like, boy, Castiel shouldn't have found you if it took us meeting you for the first time and then for you to die. So Dagon shows up and fights. And he fights. So they get into a fight. So Dagon uses her powers to destroy the cult. She uses her powers to melt the cult away, turning it to nothing. But that's what. So Castiel's baby, Kelly's baby, possesses Castiel and makes him burn Dagon on fire. So yeah. So then Castiel just bunks Dean and Sam, causing them to knock unconscious. So in Twigs and Twines and Tasha Barnes, so we see this woman being in this whole house until she's stabbed. So Dean and Sam are questioning why Cass bonked to knock them out when Alicia Alicia, the daughter of Asa Fox, shows up and tells them that their mom is missing. But once they get there, she's all fine and well. But she starts acting strangely. Meanwhile, Mary is hunting with Arthur. Mary is hunting with Arthur Ketch. But she starts questioning, what happened to McDavies? And then she starts seeing like a box with him and a bullet in his head, and she starts seeing like photos of all the American hunters. And then she calls Dean and Sam, but when she's about to leave, Arthur shows up, and she questions him, saying about why is like, if McDavies is away, why is he in a box? And she's like, oh yeah, because I shot him, and she said, oh yeah, and also because of this, because of the fact, and she also said, Mary says, oh, why is there like a big photo of, why is there like a big like portraits of all the American hunters? It's because our plan is to kill them. So yeah, so she's like, Dean and Sam were right, we shouldn't have trusted you. She doesn't actually say that. So yeah, so they get into a big fight until she decides to walk away to warn Dean and Sam about this when she's tasered. Meanwhile, Dean and Sam discover the body of the real Tasha Barnes and Max, Aisha's brother, discovers this. But when he goes to confront the fake Tasha Barnes about it, Alicia, for some reason, thinks this is her mom. Because guess what? This episode wrote her to be really dumb for some reason. I don't get it. Like, they tell her that this isn't her mom, but she goes on through multiple scenes yelling, saying her mom's name to the wooden copy. Like, girl, this isn't your mom. Your brother literally told you that truth a minute ago, but you're still gonna be like, mom. It's still like, girl, you are written to be really idiotic in this episode. I don't know what happened to her. For being a smart character, she's acting really dumb. So yeah, so Dean and Sam meet unnamed Twig Lady. So Dean and Max meet unnamed Twig Lady, who says she killed the real Tasha Baines, not Barnes, Baines, Tasha Baines, and put her heart into a twig replica. So that took her memories and her heart. So yeah, so she offers him a ring. So she says that she offers him a ring that says that that if she puts his own ring, his soul will end up in HLL, but he'll end up being with his mom and sister. But Dean shoots her. Meanwhile, Tasha Banks, the fake Tasha Banks, kills Alicia. So going against Dean Sam's wishes, what does Max do? He decides to take out his sister's heart and create a twig and put it into a twig replica, who will not have any memories of what they've experienced. And then he burns the real body like a hunter's funeral. Meanwhile, Mary is being captured in the same way her shapeshifter was in the beginning of the episode. But this time, Arthur Ketch says that Mary will be evaluated by Lady Tony to end the episode. And there's something about... So there's something about Mary. We see Eileen being... It's just so sad that what happens to Eileen. But it's so funny how they do it. Like, Eileen is running, and then she gets killed by the heckhounds. But the way they do it, they make her jump like a worm. It's so fake. It looks so fake. Like, what a way to kill off an amazing character like this. I'm sorry, I like Eileen. She's such a cool character. But boy, was her death really disappointing and really dumb. Like she was in 2 episodes. She was in 1 episode this season, and this is the way she goes out, being killed by a heckhound. That's the way she goes out. Bro. What do I say to that? What do I say to one of the coolest death hunters in the show being killed so dumbly? She just rags around like a rag doll, throwing herself around until she ends up dead. Then Dean and Sam find out about her death, and question this, obviously. Question Crowley, saying that he has something to do with Eileen's death, but he lies and says he has no idea who Eileen even is. Good. So currently Mary's been captured by the American hunters, of course. By the British mail hunters, of course. And she sees flashes of her killing friends and questions to what's going on. And they say about once they're done with her, they'll turn her back into the Mary Campbell she once was. A person that had no remorse to killing. So Dean and Sam find out about the bug, of course, and question Tony. So meanwhile, Mary pleads to Arthur Ketch just to kill her, but he's like, yeah, nah, I'm not gonna do that, and leaves. So they go to confront him. So Tony explains about everything what's happening. Mary being kidnapped, them killing Mick Davies, and Mary and Arthur Ketch's doing the dirty time. And Dean is obviously not happy to hear that his mom and Ketch did the dirty, did the nasty. And it's just like, so they get into an all-out fight when who shows up but Mary. And she tells Dean and Sam to let Arthur Ketch go, as Arthur Ketch reveals that Mary has been turned, that the brainwash worked, and that they turned Mary into an emotionless killing machine that has no remorse for killing and has no remorselessness for Dean and Sam. So now she's been turned evil. So they allow Dean and Sam to go, but what does Ketch do? He decides to leave them alive. Bro, you could have a chance to kill the main characters and wipe out the American hunters. But nope, you leave them alive with Tony because he thinks she's expendable now, and changes all the locks on the bunker so they'll die. Meanwhile, in the Paula that they took for some reason, Arthur tells Mary that she's great, now that she's not, how can she remember loving someone she's never actually loved? And she says she's fine. So in episode 22, remorseful Mary, or emotionless killing machine Mary, has been going on a killing spree, killing American hunters on the orders of Ketch. But, so, that's when she gets ordered to go out to kill Jody. So, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So, Kelly Klein decides to help the Winch. So, yeah. So, Kelly Klein is kidnapped, goes along with the Winchesters, and escapes Dagon. So, yeah. So, it's all meeting there, but that's when Dagon shows up, and they finally have the cult in their possession until Eileen tries to shoot Dagon, but Dagon disappears, and she kills one of Mick's Manletter's friends. So Mick wants to kill Eileen because of the code, but Dean and Sam is like, dude, no, don't kill her. She's innocent. But she's like, because of but I have to kill her because of the code. And he's like, oh, dude, crap, the code. The code doesn't matter. So yeah. So meanwhile at the British Manletter's base, Mick Davies is being chewed out by Dr. Hess she's saying that because of the coach, they must eliminate Eileen for murdering one of their people, but Mick Davies stands up for Dean, Sam, and Eileen by saying that Dean and Sam are doing more better than they are. So, what does Arthur Ketch do? He murders Mick Davies in response, and now Arthur Ketch is told to eliminate Dean and Sam. And that's kind of where the second half ends. So, the second half, so far, is really decent. I'm excited to review the third half after the end of this video. After we're done this video, we'll do episodes 21, episodes 18 through 23. But right now, this has been a really not good season. Like, it's okay. So, yeah. Let's just see where the third half leaves us.